What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, the Colts win their Week 10 matchup against New England in Germany. All the great fans of Germany finally got a chance to witness the Colts win. Always great to see New England lose. Always great to see Indy beat the Patriots. The Colts improve their record to 5-5 as they head into their bye week, which couldn't come at a better time, and also sends New England packing home at 2-8. And the Colts win this one by a final score of 10-6. Very low scoring game. It was crazy because the first two scores of the game, New England goes all the way down the field in the first quarter, gets a field goal. Next drive for Indianapolis, gets a touchdown from Jonathan Taylor. And then at that point, we had not seen another score from either team until the fourth quarter, which is truly incredible to see. But nevertheless, we will go ahead and accept it as we move along. But let's go ahead and hop into some things here. First things first, again, Gardner Minshew, again, another game where, it just wasn't going well for him. 18 of 28, 194 yards, one interception. I mean, the biggest problem that we had with Gardner Minshew today was it felt like he was being pressured by ghosts half the time. If Gardner could not hit his first or maybe even his second read within the first 2.2 seconds, then Gardner was frantically running around the field, creating pressure that wasn't there. It's amazingly enough, because the Colts did not allow a single sack in this game. I'll admit one or two of those probably could have been sacks. Gardner was able to break free of a few of them. But nevertheless, when you look at this game, I mean, it really was apparent Gardner was just not all there, was missing some of his throws. It felt like every other throw that he was making, it was just off. It wasn't quite where it needed to be. Some of the throws to Pittman or McKenzie, they're high. Some of the throws, like one of the throws to Downs, was just out of his reach. Kylan Granson on the one that Kylan, yes, should have caught. It still wasn't out here ready for him to make that catch. It's back here. It's a back shoulder throw when it didn't have to be. He was wide open, and he was missing some guys that were wide open in the middle of the field. And constantly, we just saw the feet moving. The feet never stopped. It's like he couldn't set himself, almost like he was afraid of pressure that just wasn't there the majority of the time. So it definitely is, once again, another thing where it really impacted the game, because you're just not able to throw the ball efficiently with Gardner Minshew. The balls get tipped at the line of scrimmage. Throws aren't made on time and accurately for the majority of the game. And I'm not going to sit there and say that, again, some throws that Gardner makes are good. I'm just saying that the overall majority of the throws that he makes are not really great throws. And I'm not going to allow the one or two good plays that were made by the wide receivers affect my thinking that Gardner Minshew is just plain and simply not very accurate. The ball placement is just never there. And it's very disconcerting, because the amount of times that guys could get yards after catch because of them being open, but Gardner just can't hit them where it counts. And that's the big issue. Is we saw even times where Anthony Richardson was doing better than that. It really makes me miss Anthony Richardson, man. I'm really looking forward to next year already. But again, Gardner didn't cost us this game. We're very lucky he didn't, because remember, we opened the second half with Gardner throwing an interception, a not needed interception, very ill-advised throw attempt to Michael Pittman that got tipped by a linebacker and then got intercepted by a blitzing corner. And that ultimately put New England at the 50-yard line. And we got lucky that New England missed a field goal, on that drive. So again, Gardner needs to thank his defense because that was abysmal. Just again, more ill-advised throws than what there were good throws. That's all I'm going to say on the matter when it comes to Gardner. The run game, Zach Moss only one carry in this game. It was mainly Jonathan Taylor today. 23 carries for 69 yards in the touchdown, 3 yards a carry. Again, half of that came from the first drive. Remember, Jonathan Taylor on the opening drive for Indianapolis had 9 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. That was the Jonathan Taylor drive. And then after that, you want to talk about it, 14 carries for 38 yards. So it was only averaging about 2.5 yards a carry at that point. Again, the offensive line did not have a great day stopping the run. And, we're facing a New England team. Bill Belichick always seems to find a way to do a pretty good job of stuffing the Colts when it comes to the run. But for the most part, again, like I said, I've been saying it for weeks and weeks on end now. If you have a guy in Gardner Minshew that you feel, even if you're missing guys in the backfield, like what they were today, the fact that Gardner is not going to be a lights out quarterback throwing the ball down the field, then you feel a lot more confident as a defensive play caller to initiate a lot more defenses and aggressive defenses, putting more guys in the box, blitzing more guys in the end. Guys, that in the games that Gardner has been the starter, Gardner Minshew has been blitzed more times than any quarterback in all of the NFL this year. He has been blitzed over 40% of the time when he takes a snap. 40%. And now, that could be just that also is, the kind of defenses that we face a lot more often, but it's also due to the fact that a lot of people understand the fact that in order to gain pressure on the Colts, you have to blitz people. And if they blitz and the Colts don't have a deep threat, or if the Colts don't have a quarterback that is willing to extend the ball deep and know where to go with the football, then they're going to blitz and they're going to get the sack or they're going to get pressure. And then that results in what you get with Gardner Minshew, who starts getting afraid every time he doesn't throw the ball within 2 seconds, right? So, and that also results in not having to worry or not being able to run the football as effectively because you're not seeing the big plays. Because if you have 6-7 guys in the box on every single play almost, and your offensive line's not able to gain any push, then ultimately that's the issue, where the running game just isn't able to feed off anything because the pass game is not explosive. It's not explosive. There's nothing interesting about the pass game. So you just start meshing everyone to the front. That's the issue you have. In regards to the offensive line, again, did not allow a sack all game. There was one play maybe where Gardner Minshew could have taken a sack, but he didn't. But outside of that, pass protection-wise today was really good. It's really helpful to have the offensive line that we had. Now, the problem is, you have Ryan Kelly out with a concussion. Thank goodness we have the bye week. Give him a chance to rest up. That is his second concussion of the year. Certainly hope that that's not going to be an issue going forward with Ryan Kelly. And there's that. That's the only thing you got. Michael Pittman, 8 catches for 84 yards. Fantastic work by Michael Pittman. 12 targets on the day. He was almost half of the passes thrown by Gardner Minshew. Michael Pittman should have had a touchdown. Got taken off the board, though. Josh Downs, again, limited participant at the game today because of his knee, but 2 really big catches for Josh Downs in this game that helped put the Colts in a great position to succeed. Isaiah McKenzie, feel bad for Isaiah McKenzie, man, because he had a really great catch to start, And Gardner Minshew didn't make it easy for Isaiah McKenzie on some of those screen passes he was trying to get because, he had chances to make guys miss, but Gardner's throw gave the timing completely off when it came to Isaiah McKenzie. Again, Alec Pierce only targeted one time, made the one catch for 21 yards. Again, I know he's open. At some point throughout this game, he was open, and Gardner missed him. It's the same thing every single game. Outside of that, really nothing else to really go off of. Again, the wide receivers made plays when they needed to. That's the big point. They made plays when they needed to. Just ultimately, again, we're just not being more effective in it. That was the big issue. Now, we move to the defensive side of things. First things first, I just want to say it. I'll say it right off the top. Indy's rush defense is tragically bad. Tragically bad. Especially we are so lucky that we're facing a trash-ass offense. We're so lucky. Because if that was a semi-competent offense that knew how to throw the football, this game would not have been like that. Stopping the run. Again, Ramondre Stevenson, 20 carries for 88 yards, almost 4.5 yards a carry. Ezekiel Elliott, 13 carries for 54 yards, almost 4.5 yards a carry. I mean, it just felt like, especially late in the game, in that third quarter, it felt like every run that Indianapolis was giving up, it was for 6, 7, 8, 9 yards every single time. Regardless if they made the tackle at the line of scrimmage, they just let go. And then Stevenson and Elliott would just keep marching on these big runs. So, I mean, it was definitely hard to watch when it came to the rush defense. Again, the stock on Grover Stewart is higher than ever before. But nevertheless, the rush defense in general was not great today. I mean, we saw a couple different times, even early in the game, we saw a couple guys missing tackles. Especially Shaq Leonard. Shaq Leonard had a really rough game today when talking about about just missing tackles, not being where you needed to be, all of these different things. It's very difficult to sit there and watch because, there's multiple times that game could have been put way out of hand, and just thankfully it wasn't. Rushing wise, again, you gave up 150 yards on 35 carries for this team. I mean, you can't do that. It's just, you can't do that. They were averaging 4.5, almost 4.5 yards a carry. That's just bad. And I knew that was going to be the Achilles heel in this game. Thankfully, the New England Patriots could not pass the ball effectively either, like Gardner Minshew had. Ironically enough, it was practically the same stats. All three quarterbacks struggled in this game. Gardner Minshew, 18 of 28 for 194 yards and an interception. Mac Jones, 15 of 20 for 170 yards and 1 interception. Bailey Zappi, 3 completions for 7 passes, 25 yards, 1 interception. So nobody could throw the football effectively in this game. It ultimately came down to rushing the football, but thankfully, due to the rushing for New England, that kept them in the game. But the one thing that the Colts were able to do much better than what New England was able to do was constantly get to the quarterback in this game. So shout out to the defense in this regard. Yes, the run game was atrocious. Totally get it. Understandable. But I'm saying that this was another masterclass act by the defense, especially in the rushing department, getting to the quarterback. Zaire Franklin leading the way, 15 tackles in this game. Shaq Leonard had 9. DeForest Buckner with 8. some guys that really put on the works today. Zaire Franklin, again, 15 tackles. Great to see that. DeForest Buckner, 8 tackles. Especially on that first drive, DeForest Buckner was everywhere. I think he had 3 tackles on the first drive alone. Really great job there by DeForest Buckner, constantly getting in the backfield and making it difficult for guys to move. 5 sacks on the day for Indianapolis, all 5 coming in the first half. Dayo Odeyingbo, first 3 drives, 3 sacks. 3 sacks for Dayo Odeyingbo, doubled his sack total in one game. This was the breakout game that Dayo Odeyingbo wanted. Had 4 tackles on the day. 3 of those resulted in sacks, 3 QB hits. Nothing better you could have asked for Dayo Odeyingbo, setting the tone early. And then even in drives later, Tyquan Lewis had a sack. Great to see him get involved. And Kwity Paye also had a sack. Again, so Indy, from a total perspective on the pass rush department, did such a great job, especially in the first half. When you can only give up 3 points in the first half and you have 5 sacks, you have done your job right. You have done exactly what you needed to do. Now, Indy did not have a sack in the remaining second half, but it did get to a point. They were getting consistent pressure on Mac Jones, making it very difficult for Mac Jones to get comfortable and make the throws that he wanted to, still limited their ability to be able to get big plays. And of course, great job by the Colts defense getting interceptions. Julian Blackmon and Rodney Thomas, 2 interceptions back-to-back in the final drives of the game to be able to give the Colts the seal on the win. Really fantastic job there to see both safeties get that involved. So really that's it, guys. I mean, and for special teams wise, all right, I'll say it. Yeah, special teams wise, great job by Isaiah McKenzie in that fourth quarter to get Indy in an area where they had great field position. Shame on the offense for not being able to do more with that. Isaiah McKenzie had 1 good return in this game that went for 42 yards. He caught it at the 5, and brought them all the way to the 47. I mean, they were practically at midfield. And the Colts only able to get about 20 yards out of it, enough to get a field goal, but they should have done better than that. And great job on the return game today by Isaiah McKenzie. Matt Gay, again, missed a 57-yarder today to end the half. 51-yarder for Indy in the second half. Great job there by Matt. Unfortunately, couldn't get the 57-yarder to fall. And Sanchez might have been some of his best punting that we've seen all season. Had 5 punts on the day. 4 of those got put inside the 20-yard line. So great job by Sanchez to keep guys back from being able to go all the way back there. Great work there. And especially that one punt where the Patriots really tried to go after the punt and they didn't put a return man back there. Sanchez booted that all the way from his goal line all the way to the 18-yard line. Fantastic work there by Indy. So great job there by Sanchez. So all in all, guys, wasn't pretty. Offense, again, struggled tremendously. But defense, bend but don't break, got it done. And that's all you can ask for. Great job by Steichen. Thought the game plan was really good today. It just execution-wise just needs to be better. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Colts win in dramatic fashion against the New England Patriots in Germany. Let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, go Colts.